This is the most recognized photo in the Old West. It's a picture of Billy the Kid. This is the only photo of Billy that can be traced directly back to him. It's believed that the tin-type photo was taken sometime between 1879 and 1880. It shows Billy leaning on a Winchester Model 1873 carbine and wearing a Colt single-action armor. He's wearing a crumpled hat, thick sweater, worn boots, and baggy pants. According to Billy's girlfriend, Paulita Maxwell, in an interview in the 1920s, she stated that the picture didn't do Billy justice. She never liked this photo. He might have worn this type clothing out on the range, she said, but in town, he was always dressed well. He was particular about his appearance. He attended weekly dances at Fort Sumner and was a hit with the young ladies. Paulita always denied having a romance with him, but she admitted she was infatuated with the young outlaw. She said he wasn't extremely handsome, but had a boyish smile and was always friendly and pleasant looking. According to Paulita, the picture was taken at Fort Sumner when a traveling photographer came through the town. It was taken in the street in front of Beaver Smith's Saloon and Store. The saloon and store was a gathering place for town folks. Pat Garrett attended bar, and Billy the Kid played cards there. It was located only one building from the Maxwell house where Paulita lived. In the photo, you can see someone holding a sun reflector and a small leg from the stand that keeps the head from moving. Some type of background was always hung up behind the subject. It's believed that Billy was living in what was the old Indian hospital that the Maxwells had turned into living quarters. His friend Charlie Bowdry and wife Manuel Herrera was living there. Bowdry was still wanted at the time for murdering Buckshot Roberts in the gunfight at Blazer's Mill. According to the June 1880 U.S. Census, William H. Bunny was living under the same roof as Charlie Bowdry and wife. It said that he was 25 years old, born in Missouri, and his occupation was working in cattle. While living in Fort Sumner, Billy wrote letters to Governor Wallace expressing his desire to turn himself in, and tried to persuade the governor to honor his promise that he made Billy for testifying against James Dolan. However, in November 1880, Pat Garrett was elected sheriff of Lincoln County, promising to capture the kid. In December, his posse made a raid on the home of Charlie Bowdry and killed Tom O'Foyer. The Garrett posse captured Billy and his gang at Stinking Springs a few days later, where Charlie Bowdry was killed. They brought Bowdry's body, along with Billy, Pickett, Rudabaugh, and Wilson, back to Fort Sumner. According to posse members who was assigned to guard Billy, said they had him chained to Rudabaugh when a family member made a request to let Billy loose so that he could have a private moment with Paulita. I believe the request was made by Delvana in behalf of Paulita. Of course, the deputies said no, afraid he might try to escape. When they refused, deputies stated that Paulita gave Billy a passionate kiss in front of all of them. 4 months later, after being sentenced to hang, Billy escapes from Lincoln County, killing 2 deputies, Bob Olinger and J.W. Bell. He returns to Fort Sumner, no doubt to be close to Paulita. Billy the Kid was killed at 12:30 a.m. on July the 14th, 1881, at the Maxwell home by Sheriff Pat Garrett. It's believed that there were at least 3 copies of the famous picture. Believe it or not, one was given to Pat Garrett before he became sheriff, because he used the picture in a book that he had wrote after Billy's death. It said another one was given to Maxwell's housekeeper, Delvana. No doubt it was intended for Paulita. It's believed to have been burnt up in a house fire. Now the photo plate that we're all familiar with, Billy gave to his friend Daniel C. Dietrich. Daniel had been with Billy during the 5-day battle standoff at the Alexander McSween home in Lincoln. During the battle, Dietrich was wounded and carried a bullet in his arm for the rest of his life. 7 or 8 years before Daniel Dietrich passed away in 1938, he gave the photo to his nephew Frank Upham. Then Frank gave it to his sister-in-law Elizabeth, who kept it in a cedar box for 40 years, not knowing the value of what she had. She lent the photo to the Lincoln County Heritage Museum, but in the 1980s the family reclaimed it. In 2011, Florida billionaire William Koch purchased the famous photo for $2.3 million.
They brought him back to Lincoln. He was sentenced to be hung. It's always been a mystery how he got the gun. They said that Bell was careless. He paid a heavy price. Then Billy said, "Hello, Bob," at the rolling of the dice. Paulita, Paulita, you must let him go. He should be in Texas or old Mexico. His life remains in danger each time he rides your way. He's headed for Fort Sumner. He just can't stay away. The sheriff of Lincoln County knew exactly where he'd go. The kids in old Fort Sumner, still in New Mexico. They laid him out on the carpenter's bench in 1881. Garrett knew they would find him there in Paulita's arms. Paulita, Paulita, you must let him go. He should be in Texas or old Mexico. His life remains in danger each time he rides your way. He's headed for Fort Sumner. He just can't stay away. Paulita, 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 let him go.